let me stand corrected there, John.
Yep.
Our ordinance says what it says, like you've mentioned, about the, type of structure. But that the new state statute does not apply to the novelty section. And if memory serves me correct, I think that even says that in the novelty section at the bottom. It'll refer to the statute there, I believe, and it'll say that that new statute does not apply to novelties. And that again came right
What
from the
does
state
this
statute.
apply to, like dynamite and nitroglycerin and stuff like that?
Novelties part or part two?
The part that says that they can't, they could only be sold from structurally functioning sprinklers.
Well, it does define what novelties are in that section. And I am being facetious, being a wise guy, but no, there's no dynamite there. Novelties are the little things, what are they, like the toy caps and things of that nature, John?
This stuff.
But it still says what it says, and it uses the same language, you're right. In the novelty section, it still refers to structure the same way as it does in part two, which is covered by the state statute.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, so next is the hard rock concrete. We got an email from Rocky regarding this, that rates have gone up on that. Is that what the deal is, Rocky?
Yeah, so what we try to do is we try to take advantage of the previous low bidder contract to perform that work, and we agreed to lowest prices from the previous year, and that's what you have before you. And again, it's time sensitive. I know that wasn't portrayed because these guys are in their cycle of the year, taking in their orders and doing larger contracts, and we just want to get some work done.
Rocky, we have these bid summaries from 2012, and you have 15 items in the bid summary. Explain what this is. I don't have anything really that clearly demonstrates what these itemized 15 different components relate to.
Is there stuff here? I don't have the backup for that. Those are itemized for 4-inch, 6-inch, requiring wire to be added to them, et cetera, et cetera. So every different components. Instead of, we wanted unit prices itemized so we know exactly what we're paying for. When something came up that needed to be changed. So that's the format that when purchasing sends it out, they send it out for unit prices. And that was recommended that we determine that's why we do our contract like that also.
So what you're saying is like number one might be 4-inch thickness and number two could be 6-inch.
Right. So let me look at that.
How do you estimate how many square feet or cubic yards that you're going to use?
So what we'll do is we'll have to go out there and walk, we'll show them all our areas of greatest needs or through the basic program as I mentioned, and we'll go through and they'll tell us, okay, we know our local roads are 4 inches, and we know that we need X amount of feet replaced. Then they'll calculate it and we'll have a unit price based on the unit prices that we have. So in this case, I think we had $300,000 budget for it, and in this case we included $400,000. The other $100,000 would be any other repairs that from water restorations. Because last year we had that problem, we had to come back to you guys, so we left $100,000 for that. Not that we'll use all that, but anything that has anything to do with water restoration, we'll use water. The rest will be us repairing our local maintenance roads. I think I mentioned that Pinecrest was one of the areas we used for me. Joan, Avalon.
Pinecrest is terrible.
Yeah, that's our first. So we got Hayes and Champaign to finish out between Pardee and Pelham, which we started last year, and then we just simply ran out of money. There wasn't enough money. And of course, you can't do any more than 300 feet without having having the assessed the residents. So, although we did have a petitioner come in, wanted to do their road, so, and we were the assessor's office and the city are working with that, so that'll be
Okay.
So, and what's been portrayed to me is that, in fact, if it is a bid out, that the prices will definitely will rise even from that contract. Just step on up.
Can you just give us a copy of the original? I just want to see what they tied that to.
For what the unit prices represent?
What the original representation was.
Yeah. Sure, I can do that.
Thanks.
Okay, next is PD. This is the tactical covert entry course. Any questions for Chief on that?
Is that a single source?
It is.
Okay.
Okay, next is another PD item. This is an evidence drawing cabinet. Sounds like a gross necessity.
It is, and just because I know you've never had this before you, this is something we've been in dire need of for many years. What it does is, quite frankly, we end up at crime scenes with clothing or other material that is soaked in blood. And this is the most efficient, safest way for us to preserve that and dry it. What we've been doing currently is a rather old-fashioned way. This is essential for our crime lab in order to make sure we're doing things professionally. And this is the particular cabinet that our crime evidence technician identified as best serving our needs. She went to Dearborn Police as well as another major department actually saw it. And we're getting it directly from the company at a reduced cost because we're getting it directly from them, the manufacturer.
Just a comment.
Yes.
The next to bottom line under the agenda remarks where it says it would be purchased directly by the manufacturer, that should be from, right?
That should be from, yes, sir.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
how big is it? I'm just curious.
It's probably about 6-7 feet tall, maybe 3 feet wide. It has various shelves in there so that if we have multiple cases or different pieces of evidence to avoid any cross-contamination, they can be sorted, so we can be doing more than one thing at a time. If it's a large piece of equipment, it would be stored in our crime lab in the old building across the parking lot there, in a security area in our police garage.
All right. Next is repair to police vehicles. I have a question. This is just police vehicles. I don't know if I got a chance to talk to you about where we're at with auxiliary. Just I had a little conversation with some auxiliary people. How are we doing on vehicles for them?
They have 2 more that have just been assigned to them, so I think they have 3, maybe 4 right now. We've been working with Winders, trying to convert some police vehicles that we've retired for our purposes, converting them. They've had to be repainted with different markings on them to get to them. So they should be up to 4 now, which
That's
is what
I
they
thought
normally
you said,
have.
and I repeated that, but I wasn't sure when that was happening.
Yeah.
They mentioned a few of the cars had wipers that weren't working. And,
Well, they need to take that up with the police garage.
okay. All right.
Chief,
Yes.
these type of repairs, are these just general accident type of repairs, or do these occur in chases, or?
It could be anything. This is an agenda item so that because we anticipate spending perhaps that much for this fiscal year
Okay.
ahead of time, getting permission from council.
So you
for this
don't
winter.
necessarily have these waiting for repair? but-
No.
Okay,
No.
thank you.
All right. Next is evidence storage containers. Any questions on that?
Single source?
Yes, this is the particular company. Our property room person, he wanted some secure carts for property such as guns perhaps in the evidence room. They're going through attempting to organize the property room. And in doing so, need a transportation device. But this is the only company he could find where it has a locking mechanism on it so that it can still remain secure.
Chief, what qualifies the JAG grant? What's the definition?
It's basically any equipment that we may need other than, they don't want to see any type of luxury type items.
Okay, so any necessity then?
Yes.
Okay, next is the police and auxiliary police uniforms.
That again is just letting you know ahead of time that's going to be a vendor we'll be using for the rest of the fiscal year.
It's the same vendor that the fire department just used?
Yes.
And some of those were just on the warrants on these.
Yes.
So you're regularly purchasing?
Yes.
Okay. All right, next is mounted rail system. Do we want to talk about this much?